happy birthday to me. Happy birthday to Emily Bronte, and me. It's my birthday.
Happy birthday.
Hey Booktube, it's Kim at middle of the book march, and it's Saturday, July 30th, my birthday. And Emily Bronte's birthday. So yeah, it's my birthday today, and what am I gonna do? I'm spending time at my daughter's house, and hopefully we'll be going out to dinner tonight so I don't have to prepare any food, and then for the rest of the day, I'm gonna do whatever I damn well want. So, the weather is nice, still a little warm, but it's not hot, it's pleasant, and so I think I'm gonna have a really good weather weekend, and maybe we can do some yard work on Sunday. I enjoy that. I enjoy making the yard look nice. So yeah, just normal, regular stuff, and just relaxing and fun and spending time with my people. So what do I have to talk to you about today? I finished 2 books. I did finish a 3rd book, but it's for my book group. I'm not talking about that one yet. So let me tell you what I did finish. One of them was on my Kindle, and I'm opening my Kindle to tell you what that one was. I finished Small Things Like These by Claire Keegan. This is a novella. I think it's about 70 pages, and usually the book is green and white. It's set in, she's an Irish writer, and it's set in Ireland at Christmas time. And this is the story of a man named Furlong. He is a man who was born to a woman who got pregnant in Ireland, I believe in the 30s or 40s. This is set in 1985. I think it's 85. And so he's kind of in middle age. He has a wife and 5 daughters in Ireland in the 80s. So Furlong was born to a single mom who was the employee or the housekeeper of a wealthy widow, Mrs. Wilson. And his mom was terrified that she would be thrown out and kind of exiled from the community and society. But Mrs. Wilson kept her in her employ and was very accepting of her and her son, fatherless son, and she loved him, and they lived together. Furlong was never told who his father was and didn't have any idea who he could have been, if he was a stranger, if he still lived close by, if there was any possibility he would ever find out who his father was. But he basically was raised with kindness and acceptance and education, and he went on to run a fuel delivery company, a coal delivery company. He also delivered wood and that type of thing. He was a very kind man and not well-to-do, but they were middle class and they did okay, he and his wife and their 5 daughters. So he felt fortunate, and he felt that they had everything they needed. They didn't really have any debts, and so many of his friends and neighbors were far less well off than he and his family. So it's a very spare, charming story, and it starts off with, we read about him and his family, his wife, his community and his activities, his job, a little bit about his background. There's a convent in the town, talking about a little bit about religion, but it's not until probably halfway through this novella that we start to find out there's some secrets involved. And it's Christmas time, and he's delivering coal to the local convent, and he stumbles upon a secret. And he's not sure what to do about it. He's kind of got the attitude of, I don't think I should get involved with this. But he wants to do a little investigating because he believes he is in a fortunate position. He wants to be able to help people. He likes to help people who are less fortunate than him, even though his wife is more of the type of person of, we're doing fine, don't get involved. But the story goes from there, and that's all I wanted to tell you. It's a 70-page novella, a very quick read. Claire Keegan's writing is very sweet and descriptive, and I love Irish authors. I love books set in Ireland. And so I really enjoyed this book. It was quite short. There could have been an entire full-length novel written of this story, but I really did enjoy it, and I recommend that one. And it's not even just a story to read at Christmas. It kind of reads like a Christmas book or a Christmas novel, but it's appropriate for any time of the year. Now, this one I am very excited about. This is Black Cake by Charmaine Wilkerson. I really loved this book. It's a debut novel, and I gave it 4 stars, but I was going back and forth between 4 and 5 and 4.5. It's an exceptionally done debut novel. This is the story of Byron and Benny, siblings, whose mother has just died, and she has left them an audio recording that she leaves with her lawyer, and she tells the siblings that she needs them to listen to it together and listen to the entire thing. And what she's done is she has narrated her life. And what we come to find out is Benny, the daughter, has been estranged from the family for many years. I believe it's 8 years. And after her mother dies, she comes back because of her mother's death, even though she wasn't at her father's funeral. And there was a really important, the father died several years before the mother. And there's a very good reason why Benny was not at her father's funeral, but the family was never told or was not aware of why that was. But so Benny and Byron are together, and Mr. Mitch is the attorney that is giving them the instructions of his mother's estate and her instructions as to why the siblings have to listen to her life story together. And central to her life story is Black Cake. The family is from the Caribbean, and the black cake was a family recipe handed down from generation to generation to generation. And this was a fixture at Christmas time and at family holidays and celebrations. And the mother, Eleanor, leaves a frozen black cake in the freezer that she tells her 2 children, you'll know when the right time is to take this out and share it with each other. It's a bunch of different timelines. It's the present day. It goes back into the mother's life story. It goes back into the past of each of these 2 siblings. It goes back and forth. There are some side characters, some family friends, one of them named Bunny, another woman named Pearl. And what she basically has left her daughter Eleanor is the recipe for this black cake and a jar of fruit soaking in rum. So it's an exceptionally written book. I loved her writing. Her writing style is so beautiful. And for me, reading a novel, the writing style is important to me. I really grab onto that. So if a book is well written, but it's not really special, I tend not to love those books as much. But her writing is wonderful, and I loved it. I loved going back and forth in the storylines, and sometimes that can be very confusing, especially when she's going back and forth with multiple characters. But the connections and the ways that their lives tie together, she does it exceptionally. The only reason I didn't really give it 5 stars was there were points where it did get a little bit clunky and the transitions were not as smooth. And it is a fairly long book. It's almost 400 pages, and mine is the Book of the Month Club version. So I thought it was a little bit long, a few places where it was a little bit clunky. So I rated it 4 stars on Goodreads, but I would say maybe it was 4.25, almost 4.5. I really loved it, and I thought this is an excellent debut, and I can't wait to see what she comes out with next. I highly recommend this one. So those are the 2 books I'm lying. Those are not the 2 books I officially finished. I have finished Wuthering Heights by Emily Bronte, but I'm not talking about that in this video. I will be posting a conclusion video tomorrow on Sunday, the 31st. But yes, I did finish this for her birthday and for my birthday. And this has been a read along for this past week, and if you are reading along, if you're interested, my conclusion will be posted tomorrow. What am I currently reading? I am currently listening to Finding Me by Viola Davis, a wonderful, incredible actor. Oh, this book, she narrates the audiobook, and she is exceptional. I absolutely love her as an actor. I think she is intelligent and talented and beautiful, a beautiful person, beautiful soul, intelligence, perception of the world. And I think she is just an exceptional actor. This is her memoir. I've been driving in my car back and forth to work, listening to her tell her story. And there have been many times where I've found myself holding my breath and trying to fight back tears as I'm driving, because her memoir is a story of trauma and a childhood filled with trauma, abuse, sexual abuse, domestic violence, extreme poverty. It's a harrowing book. And so there are plenty of trigger warnings. But the thing is, she writes a story that I can relate to my own mother's childhood story. And my life was not as harrowing as either Viola Davis or my mother's, but my childhood was tough to get through. And so I found myself listening to her talk about her childhood, and it's difficult, but I think what my childhood did for me was make me tougher. So if you are a much more sensitive reader than me, this is going to be a difficult book, especially if you're listening to her narrate it. But it's exceptional. It's exceptional. The other book I just started is Look Me in the Eye, My Life with Asperger's by John Elder Robison. And this is fascinating because my daughter Clara has high-functioning autism, which I've said before, which is basically, it's not called Asperger's anymore, but it's basically Asperger's. And I've had this book for a little bit. What I found out, I just picked this book up Thursday. He is the older brother of Augustine Burroughs, who wrote Running with Scissors. So they grew up in the same family life, but John is the oldest brother, so he kind of was out of the house by the time Augustine Burroughs wrote his story. And so they had very different parents, very different sets of childhoods, same biological parents, but very different experiences. So the book starts off with him talking about his childhood. And this is not an academic book about what it's like having Asperger's. This is one man's memoir, firsthand account of his life, his childhood. And even if he doesn't give you, the minutia of the medical diagnosis of Asperger's, you can tell by reading his sentences and his experiences that the man grew up with Asperger's and undiagnosed. So far I've just read a small portion of it, and it's very good. I'm really looking forward to reading more. So those are what I finished and what I'm currently reading. Yeah, I've been buying books for myself. Woo, happy birthday. I wanted to show you some very quickly. I'm not going to go into the backgrounds, but I did buy myself 2 new copies of some Jane Austen novels. I bought the Oxford World Classics edition of Mansfield Park, which is my last Austen to read, and I bought this copy of Persuasion because my copies were pretty beat up. I bought Willa Cather's Lucy Gayheart, and I think I have several Willa Cather books, but I did not have that one. Because of Brian, I bought Manhattan Transfer by John Dos Passos, and really looking forward to this. Now, this is a brand new copy. I bought it at a bargain price, but I had bought a used copy previously, and when I received it, I bought a copy listed as very good condition. It was a disaster. It was worn and old and writing all over the inside, underlying notes, and I just can't read somebody else's notations. So I trashed that one and I bought this brand new copy for myself. I bought a new NYRB book. This is Divorcing by Susan Tobbs. This was published in 1969 after her suicide, and it's about her kind of her weird, flaky parents and their marriage and divorce and what that did to her relationships and her life. I found Bird Cottage by Ava Meyer because of Britta, and I had to grab it. I just had to grab it. And look at, I love the cover. And when Britta had this on her channel, I love the cover there too. This one I blame on Scott from Gunpowder Fiction and Plot. This is Mayflies by Andrew O'Hagan. He said this is one of his best reads of the year so far. A very raw, depressing, emotional book, and I'm all in for that. I'm in for those types of books. Nora by Nuala O'Connor. This is a novel about the love story of Nora and James Joyce. Hello, yes, I wanted to read that, and you know, I couldn't pass that up. And Betty by Tiffany McDaniel. This has been around for a little bit, and at first it didn't catch my interest until I started to hear a little bit more about it. I don't know where, but then I thought this is a story I'd really want to read, and this is based on the author's grandmother, who is Native American. And the last one, I blame Britta again. I don't know if I'm going to pronounce this author's name correctly. Morowa Yehede. This is Creatures of Passage. And I think this was long-listed for the Women's Prize. But I found this brand new used library copy, which I love buying previous library books. I just do. I like supporting the libraries, and I love finding books that are in almost brand new condition with this plastic cover still on them. That is it. That's all I wanted to talk to you about. I'm going to have a great day today, people. I'm going to have a great day. I can't wait. I'm very excited. I'm not excited for how old I am, but I'm very excited anyway. So yeah, we're going to have a good time, good day, lots of cake. And that's my biggest excitement for my birthday is cake. My favorite food is birthday cake. So there, now you know. Another true confession. So let me know what you think of all the books I showed you, even some of the books that I hauled. If you're interested in talking about those, letting me know if you've read any yet. And I will see you in tomorrow's video for the Wuthering Heights read-along conclusion. Thanks for watching. Bye, everybody.